If you're smart, there's a high chance you're struggling financially. And that sounds strange, because intelligence is supposed to help you succeed, right? But what if I told you that the very thing you're proud of is quietly holding you back? Not because you're not capable, but because you think too much, you analyze too much, you wait too much. And by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why. Think about your life for a second. You understand things quickly. You notice patterns. You question everything. You don't just accept information, you break it down. And that's a strength. But when it comes to money, that strength becomes a problem, because money doesn't reward thinking, it rewards action. Most people believe that the more you know, the better decisions you'll make. But in reality, there's a point where more knowledge stops helping and starts trapping you. You've probably experienced this yourself. You watch videos about investing. You learn about stocks, index funds, crypto, real estate. You understand the concepts. You know what you should do. And yet, you haven't started. Or maybe you started, but stopped, and now you're stuck again. Why? If you're smart, why are you not moving forward? There are deeper reasons behind this, and once you see them, you'll realize it was never about money. The first reason is overanalysis. Smart people don't like uncertainty. They don't like incomplete information. They want clarity. They want to understand everything before they take action. So instead of starting, they prepare, they research, they compare, they think through every possible outcome. And in their mind, this feels productive. It feels like progress. It feels like they're getting closer. But in reality, they're just delaying the moment of action. Because no matter how much you learn, there will always be something you don't know. And that's the trap. The second reason is fear, but not the obvious kind. It's not just fear of losing money. It's deeper than that. It's the fear of being wrong. When you're used to being smart, you're used to being right. People expect it from you. You expect it from yourself. So when it comes to money, you don't just want to win. You want to avoid making mistakes. And that pressure creates hesitation. You start thinking, what if I choose the wrong investment? What if I lose money? What if I regret this later? And instead of taking a small risk, you do nothing. Because doing nothing feels safe. But over time, that safety becomes a silent loss. Because while you're avoiding mistakes, you're also avoiding growth. The third reason is perfectionism. Smart people don't want average results. They want the best outcome. So they wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect strategy. But here's the truth that most people never accept. Perfection doesn't exist, and waiting for it is one of the most expensive habits you can have. Because while you're waiting, someone else is starting. They don't know everything. They're not fully confident. They're not perfectly prepared, but they move anyway. And that small action, repeated over time, creates a massive difference. Years later, that difference becomes impossible to ignore. Not because they were smarter than you, but because they didn't wait. And here's the part that really matters. Money doesn't reward perfection. It rewards consistency. And consistency comes from action. Not thinking, not planning forever, but doing something again and again, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, even when it's not perfect. So, what can you do? You don't need to become less intelligent. You just need to change how you use it. Instead of using your intelligence to avoid action, use it to guide action. Start small. Invest a small amount. Make a simple decision. Take one step forward. Because once you move, something changes. The fear becomes smaller. The confusion starts to fade, and clarity begins to form. Not before action, but after it. And that's something most people never understand. You don't get clarity by thinking more. You get clarity by doing. So if you've been stuck, if you've been overthinking, if you've been waiting for the perfect moment, this is your sign. You don't need more information. You need to move. Because in the long run, the people who win with money are not the smartest. They're the ones who act. So now the question is simple. Are you going to keep thinking, Or are you finally going to start?